It's Systems Tuesday. Today, we're going to talk about getting you paid. I am sure that everyone out there is great at making sure that payment is coming in the door. But for the rest of us who may be a little bit like me, today's conversation is making sure those systems are in place so that your payment can be as automatic as possible. So, one of the things that occurred in my 20 years of running this company is I am really good at working with my clients. I have an amazing team staff that works with me that it can help us with the residential cleaning that we do here. But the part that's a little bit more challenging for me is price increases. I can set up the client. Of course, we can set up the automatic payments once they sign on as a client. They can put a credit card in the system so that after every cleaning, they are paid. So that's all automatic. But the challenge came when it was time for increases due to increased costs. It's quite strange because one of the things that happened is I realized my landlord had no problem raising my rent. My utilities companies, they would raise their rent. Of course, my staff who worked really hard, of course, expect a well-deserved raise. So of course, that was an additional cost. So my expenses were going up, but I didn't seem to have as much confidence talking to my clients to help with those costs. Of course, the company would absorb as much of those costs as we can, but sometimes I would need to pass that cost on to the clients to keep up with the current rates of where we are in the marketplace. So how did I go about doing that? Initially, in the beginning, it was very much me writing out the letters, sending out to the clients. But then as we grew, and right now we have close to over 600 clients, I need to create some type of a systematic way of managing that. And so what I do is at the end of the year, I look at my numbers, of course, before I send them over to my CPA and see what type of expenses have occurred, type of increases, make a determination of how much of those expenses the company is going to actually absorb. And then if there are additional costs that I need to pass on to the client, then I have created an automated system that when is the customer's anniversary date. So again, we will cover the float for as long as we can, but on that anniversary date, the letter is automatically generated to the client. And so the only system that we have to do is put a stamp on it. We could also even send it out by email, but I just prefer to be a little old fashioned and still send it out through the mail. So I think as you are listening to this video, I do have a challenge for you. I want you to think about from when your client says yes to when you actually have money in your account. How many steps are there in that process? And of those steps, do you have to remember what the steps are? Do you have to remember, oh, where's that file? Or where was that letter? Or how do I go about sending this? Or what do they need to do? Where's my banking information? If it requires a lot of memory, then maybe it's time for you to think about tweaking your systems to see how we can work together to get that more automated. That is actually the ultimate goal. Now, as I have shifted over to consulting, which I'm truly enjoying, I love working with my clients. I also, of course, we submit the proposal, we have a conversation. These are the things that they may want me to help them with their systems work. And then I immediately send over the proposal if they agree with it. Once they click sign, my system automatically sends over an invoice to that client. And then within that invoice, it gives them a portal where they can choose to pay with what works for them, whether it's bank transfer or they can do a credit card. Using technology now, allowing us to find ways to get paid in a more expedited manner is really one of the best systems that we can have out there. Of course, there's different systems like QuickBooks. I know like my lawn service, I get a QuickBooks invoice from them, and I know that shows up right into their books, which is great. We have so many different ways now, whether it's Stripe, whether it's Cash App, whether it's Zelle, many different systems may support you. But the question is, for you, as you are growing your business, how are the systems helping you to get the payment as quickly as possible? And more importantly, without you being involved, so it is more automatic. I probably didn't introduce myself. Sorry, I'm so excited. My name is Sonia Kaysan of my small business, my new consulting practice, which I'm really enjoying, where my main purpose is to help businesses make sure that they have automatic systems to help them grow. So please visit us. You can either find my website at BackOfficeCOO.com, or if you want to be a part of a community where this is what we work on every month or different types of systems to help us grow, please visit womenwhoscale.org. That is our monthly roundtable. where we sit down together once a month to focus on working on our business, not just in our business. And next month topic for August 18th from 1 to 3 p.m., we're going to talk about finances. We're talking about your numbers, your income statement, your balance statement, your cash flow statement. So we would love to see you at that event. But if this is in the future and August 18th has already passed, we still meet on the third Tuesday of every month. And of course, you can register at womenwhoscale.org. So I am learning this process of the wonderful world of YouTube. Thank you for being with me on this journey. Please like and subscribe. I can't believe I'm saying that now. That's the thing to say. And so I look forward to seeing you in future videos on Systems Tuesdays.